guys ready? Get your pencil, get your pencil sharpened, get your paper. We'll get going. They'll come. It will come. There it is. Turn that off. Now there's a little lag. So anyway, I'll be explaining things and I'll be doing them up here, and there's a little lag, but anyway, at least the voice isn't lagging, you know? Yes. And here we go. Let's do this. Let's do this today. Let's get over here. Over here. Let's grab. Let's get a bigger pen. So they're right here on the left. Okay? We'll use a straight edge for a minute. A couple minutes. Okay, who's here? Michelle's here. And Tatiana. Tatiana's here, cool. Audrey, not here. Elizabeth is here. Maria, not here. Horace isn't here yet. Brooke's not here yet. Darren's not here. Wait. Darren? Terry, okay. Lindsay, not here yet. Ling's here. Terry's here. Cool. Awesome. It's not like, I just want to learn your guys' names, so that's fine. That's fine. I don't have to take attendance. It's like the main thing. All right. So, we're going to learn about values, and we're going to learn about a little bit of shading, values, and light logic, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you some light stuff, and then I'm going to, we're going to look at it, okay, in real life. So I just got 9x12 paper. I just have a standard pencil here. I got a triangle here. Let's go across here. Let's do this. Let's put a, you're just going to follow along, okay? If you want to follow along, you can follow along, or you can just watch. It's up to you guys. It's your class. Okay, so we're going to put a horizon line in. So I'm just going to line up the triangle on this side of the paper. And then I'm going to flip it over like this, and we're going to line it up on this side of the paper. And we're going to put our horizon line in. This is a little review from last week if you weren't here. Okay? This line right here, this is called the, just kidding, the horizon line, okay? Or your eye level. A little bit of review from last week. And after I teach this, it's going to be pretty lengthy. But I want to see what you guys did last week. See if you guys want to share what you did last week, then I want to take a look at that too. Okay. This is light logic. Okay, it's just how light hits surfaces. And now this is about, we're imagining this is a surface, which it's a matte surface. It's not reflective. So we're not getting into reflective surfaces. Reflective surfaces are totally different than what I'm showing you. This is just basic, like if you want to shade anything basic. Because reflective surfaces, metal, glass is kind of this isn't about transparent surfaces. So anyway, I just want to throw that out there. All right. So we're going to put a point right here. And we're just going to do 2-point perspective. Okay, this is going to be 2-point perspective. So there's a vanishing point on the left, VP1, vanishing point 2. We're going to put a vanishing point over here on the right, VP2, vanishing point 1 on the left, vanishing point 2 on the right. Okay, so we're going to take our straight edge here. And we are going to draw a box. So let's go like this, a diagonal, and let's go like this, a diagonal, like that. And so here where these two lines meet, there's a point that's created, okay? Then we're going to draw a vertical line here, okay? We can eyeball it, right? So I have a little like guide down here, but just make it as vertical as you can. We're going to go about, I don't know, 2.5 inches high. Doesn't matter. We're just going to, that's going to be the front corner of our box. Yes, it will. Okay. And then we're going to go from here. Every point, just a reminder, when dealing with 2-point perspective, every point goes to vanishing point 1 and vanishing point 2. Last week we did this all freehand, no triangles. So this point is going to vanishing point 1 and vanishing point 2. When you come down here, this point's going to vanishing point 1 and vanishing point 2. Okay, there's 2-point, and we call it linear perspective. 2-point perspective, linear, okay? Now let's go up here to this is the front corner of our box, okay? We're talking about the box because it's the most fundamental form. Fundamental form. Okay? So this is the most fundamental form when drawing things realistically, and that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys. So we're going to come up right here. We're going to come over a little bit, about right there. We're just going to stop. It's kind of arbitrarily, and we're going to go to vanishing point 1. Okay, and I'm drawing a light line. I'm not pushing down really hard. Now this point is already on vanishing point 2, so we're good. Okay, we don't need to draw another line there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go from here, we're going to go straight down. Now if you want to make it kind of 3-point perspective like last week, you could go not straight down, but tilt it inward a little bit. See, I'm being a little extreme here. I'm tilting it over to the left. You could tilt it over to the left a little bit. And that would be, there's a vanishing point down here at the bottom, okay? But anyway. Okay, so we've created a new point right here. So that point also needs to go to it's going to vanishing point 2 already. So this point's going to go to vanishing point 1 over here. How are we doing? Am I going too fast? I think I'm going too fast. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let you guys catch up. Go, Matt. Too fast. Matt, too fast. Okay, while you guys are kind of catching up, if you're like, what the heck is going on here? Okay, let me restart one. I'm going to restart another one over here, okay, just so you can kind of like wrap your head around it. Okay, let's make a vertical line. I'm going to make a vertical line over here. Okay? I'm going to go back to this, but for those of you that are kind of like, what's going on? I'm going to do it again so you can catch up. Okay, so this is going to be the front corner of a box. Not a cube, but a box. And when doing 2-point perspective, okay, you have these things called vanishing points, and you have this thing called the horizon line. You just need to be aware that it's there. It's a conceptual thing. So this needs to go to vanishing point 1, and this needs to go to vanishing point 2. Okay, this is going to go to vanishing point 1 here. You don't have to do this. I'm just redoing another so you can kind of like, your brain can make sense of this. Okay, so this is like a wall going all the way to the horizon. This is a wall going all the way to the horizon, okay? Or your eye level. Okay? I'm just going to go along the wall, I'm traveling along the top of the wall here. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go down vertically at least, okay? You see that right there? I'm going to go like that. Now let's give this, so that's the width, okay? You could even call that the depth, whatever. Now let's go over here a distance. I'm just arbitrarily picking this. Okay, that point right there, that's going to be my, let's say that's the width, and this is the depth. I'm going to go down vertically. Hit that line and stop. Okay, so here's the one side, here's another side. This point is already going to vantage point 2. This point needs to go to vantage point 1. And I'm going to stop for a second there. Good? Just review for you? Oh, review. It's review for you?
It's not, well, I mean, kind of, sort of, like,
Okay.
I understand the general.
Okay, you're getting it. All right,
I'm
okay.
tracking, yeah.
You guys, are you good? What's your name? Are you good here? Do you need a little time? Okay, you good? Okay, you good? You good? So do it along with me. You good? Lynn, is it Lynn? Ling? Here, let's, yeah? Yeah, you're good. No, it's not too narrow. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, yours is going to be different than mine. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to, is it clear up there? Can you guys see it clearly, what's happening? Or do I need to get closer? It's clear. Okay, cool. So I'm going to follow this corner. We're going to go here. We're going to go a distance. Let's just go back to this one. So it seems like you guys are getting it. We're going to go down here and stop. Okay? So I'm going to stop right there. Now, this point needs to go to vanishing point 1. Now we're going to go to vanishing point 2. So I'm going to go like this. We're going to go to vanishing point 2. In a way, this is a little bit easier than just doing it freehand, but in a way, it's kind of like, all these lines, what the heck's going on here? So this just went this way, and it intersected with this one right here. See that right there? And that goes here, and that goes here, and that goes here. See, they intersected. Okay, so from here, we go up. We're going to go straight up. Well, let's do this first. Let's go. Let's wait on that. Let's follow this down here. Okay, and I'm going to go in. I'm going to go in closer. You see a little bit easier, a little bit better. Okay, and let's go from here to vantage point 2. So we're going to go here to vantage point 2. Boom. Bam, like that. Okay. So this went and we intersected right here. What did we intersect with? We intersected this corner to this corner. So we created a new corner right here that relates here, that relates here. Now we go, boom, look at this. These relate right here. That's the back corner of our box. Okay, so we're going to go like so. We've now drawn a box. Now, I think it's important that you follow along and you do this because we're going to get into shading here. If you already know how to shade, I guess you could just hang out and watch, okay? Now, we're going to pretend we've now drawn a box like it's transparent, it's made of glass. We're going to go, hey, this light is going to be coming down from the right. Here's our light source coming down. It's going to be, now, this is a pretty even angle, so let's do this. Let's have this light source kind of coming down a little bit more vertically, okay? A little bit more vertically. So here's the top surface that we can see. Here's this side that we can see. And here's this side that we can see. We can't see the other two sides, okay? So this light source is coming down more vertically. So will the top or the right side here or the front get more light? The top. So this is going to be the lightest. So this top is going to be L. We're going to go L for light, okay? This area is going to be medium. This is going to be darker than this. It's actually going to be light medium, okay? So value system, there's a two value system. The most basic value system in the visual arts, in art, okay, in drawing, and painting even, is light and dark, okay? So you have various degrees of lights and darks, Okay, even in the light value family, you have varying degrees of lights. In the dark family, you have various degrees of darks. Okay, lights, various degrees of lights, various degrees of darks, various degrees of medium values. Okay, so this is going to be our dark side or our shadow side. This is going to be our light. This is going to be our shadow. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do, okay, this is a flat object. So the way that we're going to shade is we're going to shade using straight lines. Now, this is, you can do hatching. Hatching is when you pull down, lift up, pull, lift up, pull, lift up, pull, lift up, pull, lift up. Or I like to do just scribble or zigzag. So I'm doing this. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we're just going to, you can hold your pencil back. We don't want to make this super dark right now. Okay? Want to make this, give this some value, but not too much. So you can hold your pencil way back here. Why? Because that, what it does is it holds the pencil, you get a lot of the graphite hitting the side of the paper. Or you can hold it like this, okay? Because we want to get a broad edge. See that soft edge that we're getting? We don't want to hold it like this and shade it, because then you're just getting a really small pointed edge. So we want to do this. And I have my hand touching the paper for stability. So I'm not pushing down really hard, but I'm just going vertical here for now. And if you don't get it perfectly in that box, it doesn't matter. You saw I just went across like that. That's okay. Okay, so this is our shadow side. Now, this is going to be a little bit darker than this. So let's do this. I'm going to hold this back way super far over here. And I'm just going to barely be skipping along the surface, because I want this side lighter than this side. Now I am going to switch my direction here. I'm still holding it from the bottom here, so I get that soft edge. Okay? Now when I'm shading this, look, I'm shading it towards the vanishing point. Okay? That point over that vanishing point. All right. So these are really close in value, too close in value, but that's okay for now. Let's get our eraser out. Let's go, hey, let's erase out this top section a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. Bam. Cool. Beautiful. Light, medium. Oh, thank you. I totally skipped over that. Okay, because I was talking about the two value system, light and dark. Okay? Now, so let's go down here. We have light values, we have medium values, and we have dark values. Okay, so these are our three values, okay? And that's what I was saying. There's a two-value system, light and dark. So if we get rid of dark, right? We have light and medium, okay? If we get rid of light, we have medium and dark. But medium is still lighter than dark. You know what I'm saying? So when we break it down, if you squint at something and you're trying to figure out the values, you're like, where is that division of light and dark? Okay, because you can figure medium values out later, but it's like, okay, where is that, quote, line or edge, I should say, not line, but an edge where there's that definition of light and dark. So what I do here is I have light, we have medium, we have dark. But of course, we can go, this light and medium, we can go, I do this. I go light, medium, or just kidding. Yeah, or medium, light, and then medium. Okay? And then we can go, if we want to break it down further, and we can go medium, dark, or we can go dark, medium. And then we go into the dark here. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm just saying you can break it down, and I could go light, light, medium. I could, you know what I'm saying? Like you can break it down infinitely, because there's, you know, an infinite number of values, you know. And then extreme light is white. Extreme dark is black. And with a graphite pencil, you're not going to get black. You could get black with charcoal, Conte, okay? But I'm just saying, there's everything in between. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying. We can push down really hard. There's our dark. And then medium and light values. And then, so I'm holding it way up here to get these dark values, right? And pushing down really hard, putting a lot of pressure down. And then, so if we want to get lighter values, I'll hold my pencil here. And I'm going to go, and I'm going to ease up a lot. Pushing down hard, light, 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 light. And then I'll even go back here. We're barely touching the paper over here. You know what I'm saying? So you don't, and then after you figure out your values, you're like, okay, I got my blending done and everything. Then it's like, then people go, okay, let's do the smudging. You know, if you want to do that, sometimes you don't want to do that, but I mean, you can really fade it out to nothing. You know, you do that smudging. But anyway, let's go back to this. Does that help? You guys good? All right. And then live chat. Okay, I don't know. All right. Okay, here we go. So now what we're going to do is okay, this is our light side, this is our dark side here, our shadow side. Now, also this back here would be our shadow side as well. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to push down a little bit harder. Say well, let me go like this. I'm going to hold this pencil like this. And I'm going to be careful here. And this is going to be an edge. So it's a line turning into an edge, okay? So I'm going to push a little bit harder here and make a wide, fat line, or a wide, a heavy line. And then I'm going to blend, push down hard, medium, soft. To the left. So I'm moving to the left here, zigzagging. And I'm doing this repeatedly. And I'm going outside the lines, but that doesn't matter because we'll just erase those later. Okay? So we're going to do that. So we're going to get a nice blend there. Okay? And then what we're going to do here too at the top is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go like this. We're going to create a fat or wide line. And I'm going to position myself over here. This is a little bit easier. And I'm going to pull down. We're going to push down hard, medium to soft. And there's a reason for this. Okay? So there we go. This is darker than this over here. This area is darker right here. And I'm going to gently erase this. Just kind of scrub it out right here gently. I'm not pushing down hard. Okay. Now, let's do a little labeling here. This value that we put down right here, it's a lighter in the lighter values, lighter value area. This is called halftone. This is called halftone or midtone. Okay? So any lighter value, any value in the lights is called halftone or midtone. Now what I'm doing here is I'm darkening this a little bit more than the top. Okay? So I'm doing that because, why? Because this is farther away from the light source than this. This is going to be a little bit lighter than that, okay? And this is all generic because like if you're actually looking at an object, these are things that you want to be aware of. These are things that you want to look for, okay? These are terms that you want to become familiar with when you're dealing with drawing realistically, painting realistically, okay? And we're talking about just the object, but just, and like I said before about last week and the week before, the background is also as important as the object that you're drawing or you're painting, okay? So, the darkest area, this area here and this area, this L right here, we'll call it this L. This L is called the core shadow. Okay, so that's the core shadow. This is the core shadow is the darkest part of a shadow on an object. Okay, so you're going to want to write that down. So that's your core shadow. We're looking for that. That's where the light turns into the dark. Now we're gonna shade a sphere next, because that's the second most important form when drawing something three-dimensional. Okay. Now, even like something thin like this triangle here, you know, it's box-like. It has thickness. Okay, and light's gonna hit this surface different than this side surface here, you know? So we want to take this and relate this to the things that we're looking at, okay? But now we're talking about a solid object. That's the thing here. We're not talking about a piece of plastic that you can see through, because light's going to hit it differently, you know? So I would advise you to study in quotes, I would advise you to study, meaning draw different surfaces. Okay, and observe what happens to those surfaces when light hits it, you know? So we have a matte surface. We have a glossy surface. We have a reflective surface. We have a transparent surface, you know, glass. We have, you know, like I would think, say, shag carpet, or a stuffed animal, or wood. You know what I'm saying? So, you want to study these surfaces. Now, I'm not saying like there's texture to each surface, but what I'm kind of trying to say is, you want to be observant and aware of these things and how they affect the form of each of the object that you're drawing. Okay, so darkest part of a shadow on an object, core shadow. This part that's lighter, because it's getting lighter as it gets to this corner. And this is all a little bit exaggerated, and it's all different, okay? This lighter part, this is called reflected light. Okay, because what happens is light's coming from above, coming down, hitting the surface on which the object is sitting, and bouncing back up and hitting it, okay? Usually on this lower end, like the light's hitting here, bouncing back and hitting this area down lower. So this is why this is lighter than this. This is farther away from the surface, okay? Now, what if the surface is black? What if it's a dark surface? You're probably not going to get a reflected light. I'm assuming that this surface is a light surface, okay? What if the surface is gray? What if the surface is, you know, cement? What if, you know what I'm saying? It's all relative. It's all relative. But these are the basics, okay? So this is reflected light, or bounced light. Okay? So there's that. Now, there's another shadow that we want to be aware of. And we're gonna take our triangle and your pencil here, and we're gonna go right here, and we're gonna darken. I'm gonna push down a little bit harder here. And I'm gonna push down a little bit harder down here. Okay? So this is darker now, and that's darker. This, okay, is a shadow also. Okay, it's just this line, just that line. This is called a contact shadow. Okay, and that's where the object comes in contact with the surface, or something's in contact with something else. Like if I'm putting my hands together there, you can see right here, there's a contact shadow. Okay, where my flesh is coming in contact with my flesh. Okay, or the hands coming in contact with this piece of paper, etc., etc. Okay, so you want to be aware of a contact shadow and look for that. So let's do this. Now we need to put in a cast shadow. So let's take our ruler and let's just make this easy on us. And we're just going to go horizontally from this corner. We're going to come out a certain distance. So I'm going to come out that distance right there. Okay? I'm going to come out that distance right there. Okay? And then we're going to come out and I'm going to go like this. We're going to estimate, okay? Well, actually we could do this. We're going to go from here because we're using perspective and we're going to go up to the vanishing point. There we go. And that's helpful, okay? So we're going to go up to the vanishing point here. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to go out to the vanishing point again here. Now, this is the tricky part here. What we're going to do is we're just going to estimate, we're going to guesstimate. We're going to go back to this corner right here, okay? And we're going to come out about this distance from here to here. We'll just eyeball it. Close enough is good enough, okay? Because this is about getting this idea or this concept down, okay? So that's about that distance, close enough. So there's that point right there. And then we're going to go like that, okay? Maybe I can zoom in here. There we go. A little bit closer for you guys. And I was pausing so you can catch up. Now, this shadow, this is a shadow, okay, the shape that we just created, okay, this is a shadow. It's called a cast shadow, okay, cast shadow. All right, that's that shape. And that's something you want to look for. And it could be dark, it could be lighter, it could be a variety of values. Now, generally speaking, let's just block this in with a value, just like a medium value here. Now, generally speaking, the cast shadow is darker and sharper. And I'm going to take these lines here because the lines are just a guide, okay? We kind of don't want them in our final thing. And we're doing an imaginative drawing. It's to understand a concept or idea, and then we could take these definitions and these concepts and these ideas to our real life studies, okay? Or real life artwork that we're looking at, okay? So we blocked in, let's do this too. I got all this stuff right here. I want to get rid of that. And I want to get rid of this. And I want to get rid of this so I can see clearly and so you guys can see clearly this cast shadow, okay? So there's our cast shadow. Now, the cast shadow is darker towards the object. So I'm going to push down harder now. And I'm going to blend to the left. Now, first week, somebody said, I want to learn how to draw an eye. I want to learn how to draw mountains. I want to learn how to draw, I think somebody said an animal, okay? I don't know what else you guys requested that you learn how to draw. But see, this is darker, it gets lighter as it gets farther away from the object, okay? Because the closer it is to the object, and I'm going to darken this a little bit more. The closer it is to the object, the more light is blocked, okay? As the shadow moves away from the object, more light can get around the object, okay? Coming down around the object, and it can get past it, and it can diffuse. So typically, this is all blurred out. This is soft, okay? So this becomes a soft edge the farther away the shadow is from the object. You've got a soft edge right here. You'll have a soft edge right here. Right here, that's going to be a hard edge. Okay? And also, the outline of your object, your thing, whether it's a person, place, or thing, it's going to have a hard edge around it. That doesn't have to do with the shadow, but to make something look realistic, it needs to have a hard edge, basically. Now, there are tricks, because I'm bringing up edges for a reason. Hard edge, soft edge, probably about halfway you'll have a firm edge. Okay, and that's the degree of softness. Okay, so we got hard edge here, moving this direction. We got a firm edge about here. Moving even farther away, we'll have a soft edge over here. Okay? Edges are super important because edges can create atmosphere. Now, let's put a side note over here, and I want you to write down atmospheric perspective. Okay? And I want you to write down depth of field photography. Write those two notes down. Anybody familiar with atmospheric perspective or depth of field in photography? Depth of field is when the artist focuses on something really close. So there could be a field of flowers. So you have instead of all the flowers being in focus, which you could do, you have one flower in focus and everything else behind it is blurred out. Okay, and even the stuff that's closer to you could be blurred out too. Okay? So depth of field. Now, this is kind of popping, right? This is kind of looking three-dimensional. You know, we got a variety of values. I want you guys to look at your own drawing and go like, dang, I'm doing some rad stuff here. Okay, it's looking 3D. Now we're going to apply this concept to anything and everything that we're going to look at. But before we go on, we're going to go. Let's talk about the background. Now I'm just going to create an imaginative thing here. The background. Okay. See how we put all those lines down and now they're not so important? Okay, they're not so important because I'm putting this other detail and stuff in it. But let's take this right here. And let's just go, hey, let's just say the background's a little bit darker than the top of our object here. So when I put a little bit of value right here, a little bit of darker value next to that light value, it pops. Okay? I'm creating a hard edge. Now let's wrap this around. Let's like blend this down a little bit. Let's even bring this down because it's easy to do. I mean, the movement's easy to do. And let's bring this down over here on this side. Now, the surface in which and the background in which your object exists is going to have a variety of values as well. So the object itself has a variety of values, and the atmosphere, the environment also has a variety of values. Now, right here, because I purposely did this on this side, what's the problem here? What's the problem with this surface and the background? They're the same value, okay? So what we got to do to make it pop is we got to change the values. We got to give it some contrast. This is okay on the left side when the background's a little bit lighter and that the object is darker, so it pops a little bit, okay? So we have a decision to make, and we can just arbitrarily make this decision because this is an imaginative drawing. We can go, hey, I'm going to get my eraser and I'm going to lighten that up on the bottom here a little bit. I'm just going to gently scrub like so. Now, there's another edge that I didn't talk about yet. We talked about a hard edge, we talked about a firm edge, we talked about a soft edge. There's also a lost edge. A lost edge is when your background and the object are the same value, and that happens, and that can be pretty cool. So let's make this a little bit darker up here. And I'm going to keep this the same. Why? Because it adds some interest, okay? You don't have to have a lost edge. If you have a lost edge, meaning the background's the same value as the object, you can make them different. You can make an artistic decision and go, hey, I want this thing to pop. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of any lost edges. I don't want that. Why would you do that? I don't know why. Because you want to. But if there is a lost edge, it's kind of interesting. You're like, man, that's kind of like, you know, that's blending into the atmosphere. That's blending into the background. You know, maybe you want everything to be fuzzy or kind of blurred out, but you can create a focus that way too. Like if I blur this and I blur this and I blur that and soften that, if I soften everything except for like this top edge, you're more likely to go to the top edge and look at that top edge. This has the most amount of contrast here. This is the darkest dark, that's the lightest light. And I could even on the top go, hey, let's give that a smidgen of value. Just a little bit. And I'm actually from here to here, I'm blending. This is slightly lighter than that. I mean, that's slightly darker than that. Okay? So this is darker, this is lighter. All right? And we're going to be forced to look over here. You know what I'm saying? So this right here is a lost edge. Lots of stuff, huh? Yeah. Yeah, depth of field and atmospheric perspective. So you can look on your phone right now and go look at a mountain range. Let me bring this up really quick here. I'll bring up a mountains, okay? Mountains. Let's find an atmospheric perspective thing here. Okay, let's look at this right here. Now, this is atmospheric. What's happening? Let's open this photo here. Okay, so now we're getting into color a little bit, but this isn't showing it really well, but I mean it's showing it well as far as color is concerned, the atmospheric perspective. So, but the rule of the rule of atmospheric perspective, and it is a thing, is things that are closer to you are darker, and things that are farther away become lighter. Okay? Now, also, if you're painting, what's going on with this? What color is this? Let's look towards the bottom of the photograph. Okay, so we have what color is down here? What color is this down here? So what we got a lot of greens, we have beiges, we have warm colors down here, right? Do we have beiges and greens here, like in the middle? Yeah. Greens here, right? What's happening over here? Blues. Okay, things get bluer the farther they go away from you. Okay, but also, what do we have going on here that we don't have going on here? At the bottom, we have, look at this, we have detail. Look at all the details of the bushes, darker values. Okay, we can see all this detail, all this stuff. Now, we're not going to try to get all these bushes and things back here. We can't see all that detail. And the farther away it is, you see less and less detail. It gets bluer, and I would even say the values are lighter. Like these values, they seem darker, but the darker values here at the bottom, this value is way darker than the darkest value that you see up here because of the particles in the air. So what happens is, as we look through the atmosphere, the sunlight's coming down, and what's in our atmosphere? We have dust particles, we have water particles floating around as we're looking through our atmosphere, because that's what we're doing. So light's coming down and it's illuminating, because we're in this photo right here, right? This looking through the mountain. We're looking through miles and miles, or a mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles down the road, right? Things get hazy, they get fuzzy. Like when you're not when you're driving, but when you're sitting at a stoplight, like look beyond and look way, way miles and miles beyond and see like what's going on. Okay? Visually. Way less detail, things are going to be fuzzy, things are going to be blurry because of all these different particles that we're looking through and the sunlight's illuminating. So that's what atmospheric perspective is. Does that make sense? So let's go. Let's go atmospheric perspective drawing. So here's a drawing where this artist has, let's go image, taking this idea. Okay, here it is right here. So darker, more detailed. As we move up, it becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. That's the idea of atmospheric perspective. Okay. Here's another idea of it as well. Does that help? Now let's look at depth of field, and then we'll get to the sphere, which is important. So depth of field photography. Let's look at some images really quick. So depth of field. Right here. Let's open this up here. So here we go. This bottom one's in focus. This one above it is kind of in focus. It becomes blurrier, 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 blurrier. Even right here, it's still depth of field. This one on the left is more extreme. This one on the right is not as extreme. Okay, as you move up, it becomes more blurry. Okay, so that's that. And let's look at the rock one here. Okay. So here we got the rocks in focus. Okay, you can see the detail. If you go down, all blurry. If you go up or behind, it's all blurred out. You're at the rocks, and right by the rocks, this whole area is in focus. So that's depth of field. And you can use that trick when you're drawing too. You know, you can blur things out. Okay, so that's the box. Now we're going to take all these ideas, because although, you know, things are boxy, we have a lot of things that we're going to be drawing that are rounded. Okay, so we're going to take all this stuff and I'm going to teach you the rounded stuff. And then we're going to work on practicing it, okay? So let's go light logic. And we're going to go, and this was box, we're going to go sphere. Or ovoid. Anything spherical or ovoid. Okay, so let's just do let's make a circle here. We're going to go like about this size. And make something circular. Okay, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but it's something circular. We're doing it, and we're doing it about that size. And let's put a vertical line in it. And we're going to put a little dash down here at the bottom, and we're going to put a horizontal line. I'm going to make this nice and easy for you guys, and we're going to, you like easy, huh? What? Okay. And we're going to go, okay, here's the angle of our light coming down. Okay, and we're going to have similar angle of light coming down. Okay. Now, when you're looking at an object, you can purposefully put, oh, I want to show you guys, have you guys heard of a shadow box? Okay. Let's write that down to the right. Shadow box. I would suggest making a shadow box. Make a shadow box. Okay? Now, I've been telling you guys, hey, draw everything around you. Draw what you're drinking. Draw what you're eating. Draw, you know. Open a drawer open up your junk drawer. Draw stuff in that. You know, what's on your desk? Draw that. You know, choose a corner of your room. Draw the stuff in the corner of the room. Open up your closet. Draw that. Where are your shoes? Draw that area. Okay, or draw a shoe. Okay, but anyway, we'll talk about shadow box if we have what time. What time are we at? We're at, okay, oh, we're good. We're making good time. Okay, so here's our angle of light. Here's our angle of light here. We're going to put a little dash here. We're going to put a little dash here, okay? Now, we're going to make this is circular, so our shadow is going to be elliptical. I'm making sure that's an ellipse. Okay. Like so. Going through like that. There we go. Okay? And this is the lay-in. Okay, we're laying this in. Lay in. A lay-in is where you draw in your basic shapes of the thing that you're going to be drawing, whether it's a bottle, whether it's a person, whether it's a shoe, whether it's hair, whatever it is. A lay-in is when you draw in the basic shapes, okay? So this is our basic shape that we're going to draw in. Like this could be a head, you know? We could go. You don't have to do this, but why are circles important? Well, things are circular, that. Now you can base, I like circles because look, boom, you can base a head off of the circle. There's the nose. That comes down. Oh, that's the brow. That comes back. That comes forward. A third of the way down is the mouth comes together. A third of the way down is the top of the chin. And right here, see this comes forward, back, forward. And then you put an ellipse here. Check this out. Boom, 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 boom. That goes forward. That goes forward. This goes back. This goes back. That comes forward. That comes forward. This comes down to the chin. That comes down to the chin. Okay, so I started with the circle. What form does this remind you of that we just talked about? Box. Because look. Okay? Now, there are circular forms on the head, but when we break a lot of these things down, we go, okay, that nose I messed up, but here, there we go. That nose is box-like. Okay, the eye sockets, boom, 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 boom. That's spherical. The cheeks are spherical or ovoid. Okay, the chin is ovoid. Okay, but it's also, it can be box-like. Okay, but anyway, we'll get into that, I think. I'll give you as much as I can. All right, let's go back over here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go, on this one we go, okay, here we drew our box in perspective. You don't got to do all that with a sphere, okay? You don't even have to do that for this. If you're drawing something box-like, be thinking of perspective and be like, where's the light source? It's coming from above. Okay, it's coming from the left. It's coming from the right. And then draw it accordingly. Okay. And then consider bounced light and reflected light, but always have that form. Now this one, we're going to go, okay, the light's coming from this direction. Okay? It's rounded, so we're going to go, see that? We're going to put a dash here. We're going to put a dash here. And we're going to go like this. Think of the moon here. Okay, that shadow line, that right there, that soft edge, that's going to be our division of light and dark. Okay, I'm just making this up. Now, what do? What's your homework? What do I want you to do? One thing I want you to do, make a shadow box. Another thing I want you to do is I want you to get an egg. Number 1, get an egg. 2, light it with a direct light source. You got one of those clamp lights or a little desk light, you know, it sits on your desk, whatever. Light it. And then 3, draw it. Shade it. Okay? And the shadow, and the background, and the cast shadow. Really observe the shadows. Everything I'm going to teach you right now on here, you will be able to see it on. I want you to be able to see it and observe it. Okay? And I want you to shade the background, BG background, okay? I want you to do that one at home. And I would invite you not to do it just with the light with one angle, but move the light at another angle and another angle, like around, and get do it 5, 6, 7 times. You know, and you don't got to do it big. You know, do it big enough so you can get some detail. Like, this is a pretty good size here, you know? All right, so anyway, we're doing our land. This is light. And this is our shadow, and this is our shadow, so these are our darks. So we're going to start with our darks like this. We're just going to go like that. And this is going to be dark. So our laying involves thinking about the shapes of the thing that you're drawing. And it involves thinking about where the division of light and dark is. Okay? Whatever that thing is that you're drawing. Okay? Having a direct light source is awesome. It's crucial. Okay? Seeing?
Yeah, so after.
Oh, because my writing's so messy. Okay,
Well,
here.
It goes in and out of focus too.
Oh, okay.
My eyesight is great. So after light it with direct light.
Okay, so let me zoom in here.
Oh, there we go. Draw it. Got it.
Wait.
Light with the direct light.
Light with the direct light source. Draw it, shade it. Okay, shade it. Cast shadow, same thing, shade it. And shade the BG, that's the background. Thanks for saying something. Okay. Okay, you're welcome. Cast shadow, yeah. Shadow. Okay. Shadow. I put O. T. Yeah. Shade it. Shade it. Shade it. Yeah, I forgot the I. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. BG is background. Yeah, look. Right here. BG is, here you go, Ling. BG is background. Yeah. Okay, I'll try to write more legibly. All right. What's this doing here? Okay, cool. Getting this all centered here. Zoom in a little bit more here. And there we go. I think we're ready to go. All right. Here's our lights. Here's our darks. So let's talk about the core shadow. The core shadow is going to be soft because here our core shadow on the box is a hard edge. Okay, because you have one surface and then it turns immediately into another surface. Therefore, you have to have a hard edge. Now, but do you? If I go like this and I kind of smudge that a little bit, if I scribble on that, I can kind of round out that edge and still, it will still communicate that it's box-like. You know what I'm saying? But it's got this rounded edge. Okay? You make that a little blended there. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's something you can play with. Okay? Because not a lot of things have perfectly angular edges. But anyway, so here what we want to do is our core shadow here. Let's just go around this. This is going to be wider here, and then as we move towards, because this is actually rounding around. Okay, this is going on this side and to the other side. Okay, it's going over here. Okay, we're gonna go like this, and I'm pushing down a little bit harder here. And I'm just keeping this at 1. Now, what I'm starting to do here is I'm tilting it. Now watch. I'm going towards, let's do this. Here's this. Lightly, let's put a line right here. Now, I'm getting a little technical, but I just want you to this should help you to, this is a round object. Now, we can't shade this with all straightish lines or zigzag lines, okay? But I kind of want to show you, like, watch. Here, I can shade it from here. I'm shading just straight. Then as I move up, I'm moving to the left. You see that? I'm coming back to this point here. Here, watch, I'm going to move to kind of curving this. See that? How I'm curving it? Scrubbing this. I want to make sure I get a really good blend here. So what we're doing right now is not only teaching you guys the logic of the light, but I'm teaching you blending technique too, okay, which is a great technique to know and to be a great skill. And then you guys can make, you can make whatever you want out of this. Okay. Now, so this is darker, and as we move away, this is lighter. So this darkest part right here. This is our core shadow. Core shadow. Okay? And that goes all the way around, okay? This area down here, this is our reflected, and it's off the screen. There we go. This is our reflected light. Okay? Area. This area down here. Okay? Now what we want to do is we want to blend upward. And we want to blend, here's our the top of our sphere, right? This is going to be our lightest area up here. So let's just put a little dash right here. We want to blend. Now look, watch what I'm doing here. What am I doing here? What kind of lines am I drawing? Arcs, curved lines, right? Because this is a curved object, also what I could do is I could go around and go dot, 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 dot to the other side. Okay, these are called cross contour lines. They do happen on flat surfaces too. Look, this goes up and then this goes over. Okay, this can go up and then it goes over, or it goes over that direction or that direction. Okay, and this goes down. So these are lines that describe the form. Okay, and we shade in the direction of the form. Something's rounded, we want to make rounded lines, but we can use a series of straightish lines to create the illusion of curvature. Okay, so that's what we're going to do now, but we're kind of going in this direction. This is going to be we're going to have half tone here, okay, or mid-tone. So our half tone is going to be curving around our object and moving upwards towards the top. Our highlight is going to be here, which I didn't mention. So our highlight is the lightest part of an object, okay? Whatever that may be. And I did not put highlight on the box. So here, highlight is going to be lights coming down. Our highlight would be this area right here. Let's put in highlight. Highlight. Okay. Let's go back over here. So this will be our highlight, and then our halftone or our midtone is going to come up. So I'm going to hold the pencil like so, and then we're going to go around. We're going to start moving upwards and following the curvature of our form. So I'm angling that, and then I'm getting straighter here, and then I'm angling that, and then I'm getting straight here, just right there, right? And then I'm angling that, and I'm going to go back here because this is like a messy edge, a choppy edge down here. And now watch this. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to shade at an angle like so. Watch the angle of the pencil. Okay, I got to soften this. We got to soften this right here. The top of the core shadow. You got to really scrub at that. And soften and blend that edge. Maybe I was talking about a soft edge. You got to soften. The interior of things that you're drawing are typically all soft edges or blended edges. So what we're doing right now is we are blending, getting rid of any edges. You can even do this too, look. You can even like do a little of this action, like a little spiraling. And you give it various pressure to make the values darker or lighter. And I've just been scrubbing. I'm going to take a second here and I'm going to stop. while you're drawing, as you're drawing, stop every once in a while, because we get so in it. Depends how much time you have, you know, or how much time you do want to take. And stop for a second and observe what you've done. Be observant of your own actions. I guess that could be like a life lesson thing too, you know? Really working on that imaginary sphere that we've created. Okay. Got our reflected light, core shadow, halftone or midtone, highlights at the top. This is going to be white. So I'm pushing down a little harder there and lighter, softer and softer as I move outward. Now, this might be a good time you can go, hey, let's do a little smudging with the finger. And let's stop and see what's going on here. And then let's put some more graphite down. Okay. Okay. So we want to make this thing pop. This is looking pretty good. We're like, okay, cool. Now what's our next thing? Our next move. Our next move is, let's look at the cast shadow. Okay, let's look at the cast shadow on our box. Okay, so it's got to be darker to lighter. And we go hard edge closer to it. Firm edge about halfway. Soft edge farthest from it. Okay, so let's apply that. So here's our vertical line. Let me remind you of this that we put in. This is where our contact shadows, it's barely, this is a sphere, so it's barely touching. So we're going to go outward, okay, and we're going to move down, blend down, moving out here, moving down. Let's go over here, blend to the left and down. Let's go up here. Scrub-a-dub-dub. And I'm going all these different angles, guys, so feel free to. Now this right here, we gotta be careful. Right here, let me zoom in here so you guys can see clearly what's going on here. Here we gotta be careful. That's gonna come around. Boom, boom. Nice hard edge right there. Boom. Let's bring that around. Okay. Bringing that around. Moving to the left. So here we got a hard edge. Let's label that, hard edge, okay? And then as we move about here, let's say, and I'm just making this up, okay? But you guys are going to be observing it when you're looking at your egg, okay? Or whatever it is that you're given a light source on. All right? So about here, we're going to have a firm edge, let's say. Firm edge. And then as we keep going to the end here, we're going to have a soft edge. Okay? Over here. As this is farthest away from the object, the shadow. And this whole thing is called our cast shadow. There's a third form that we should talk about. It's a combination of a sphere or an ovoid and a box. That is the cylinder. Very, very common in things that you're drawing, especially the human form. If you want to get into drawing animals or people or almost anything, cylinders are huge. Knowing how to shade it. You shade a cylinder similarly, the round part of the cylinder you shade basically like this, like the ovoid or the sphere, okay? And then the top of the cylinder is your square part, right? You know, you have, boom, your ellipse, that comes down, and you got the bottom of part of your bottom of your ellipse, and that goes, that's your square. You know, that's your hard edge right there. That's your box. But this is rounded, so you have your core shadow right here, right? Shade, halftones going to the right, you got your core shadow going to the left. Boom. Okay. Anyway. That's for another day. We'll try and get there. Now let's make this thing pop even more. Okay? Got some people watching. Maybe it's like people who didn't show up to the class. How do you see the chat? Is there no chat? All messages are visible, it says. Okay, I don't see any, but oh. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to the top of our sphere here. Let's make this thing pop more. And we're going to give this a dark edge here and a hard edge. And we're going to blend upward. Boom. Just going to go around this thing. See that? This right here where I'm like not touching the edge. A lot of people do that. They won't go to the edge, but eventually you need to go right up to the edge, like especially when they're painting. When you're painting, you're like, but you want to go right up to the edge, create that hard edge. And remember, where you push down, that's where it's going to get darker more. More contrast, that's where your eye goes. So you can start thinking about, okay, where I have the most amount of contrast on the thing that I'm drawing, that's where the viewer's eye is going to go. Where I have the most amount of contrast and I have the most amount of detail. You know, like, let's say this thing's made out of some type of material that's kind of porous, and I put some texture in there now. So texture is the last thing. I put some cracks in there or something. The eye's going to go there. But the shape lay-in, drawing the basic shapes, that's number one. Okay, that's the lay-in. And then we're thinking of form. We're thinking of the basic form. How is light hitting the thing that I'm drawing? And then we put texture in. Even a hair, like, people draw hair, but this is if you're trying to do something realistic, you know what I'm saying? If you just want to draw and you just want to draw for fun and it doesn't matter, just do whatever the heck you want. There is no right way. I'm just showing you guys an approach through realism of how to draw, okay? Now, check this out. I could go like this and blend over that. Let's kind of like give that a lost edge on purpose. You're like, why are you giving a lost edge on purpose? Well, if I go like this and I just blow that out and burn, just make that hazy, right? So I purposely made a lost edge there. It's like you're going over here. I'm putting you over here. Yeah, so now I'm playing with depth of field, and now let's I don't know why, but I'm like, let's put a shape here. Just making stuff up, just for the fun of it. Like, that doesn't make sense, but who cares? You have to look there. You have to look right there what I just did. There's no way that you're not going to look there, okay? Let's put these little floaty things. Put another one right there just because. You don't have to do it, but I'm just doing it just to, you know. Now, let's just say that this is casting a shadow on this. That would curve. The shadow from this thing would be hitting this, and it would curve. And it wouldn't be as dark. But there's a shadow from that. And this one would be probably, it's straightish. So I think that would be closer to the, okay, that would be closer to the sphere here, farther away here. So I got to put my cast shadow kind of like that. It's not working too good. It's not working too good. Maybe that cast shadow is going to fade out. So I'm thinking this is something floating in front of it, and it's making a cast shadow on the actual sphere. But anyway, so that's sphere. Okay? That's sphere. And we got halftone, midtone, highlight. We got contact shadow. Contact shadow is right here. And that's it. That's it for that. What time we got? 7:25. Cool. Okay, I want to see what you guys did. So let's take a look and see what you guys did. And then, yeah, like over the, yeah, sure. Let's see what you did, and let's see what you did, like, if you guys did anything at home. Let's see it. And then let's talk about, I want to show you guys the shadow box thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. All right, people watching out there, I'm gonna close it down. Have a good day.